We did a lot more planning for our final task compared to our preliminary task because obviously it counts towards our marks. So we tried to use better techniques and different shots to make the whole thing seem more professional. Whereas in the first one, we only filmed what we thought we had to because we had not learned professional techniques and like different types of shots. During our first task, the tripod was broken, so our shots were very wobbly and not very stable. Whereas in the final task, we had a tripod that worked, so we were able to get shots where the camera stayed still and didn't wobble too much. For the final task, we tried to film each shot from different angles to see what it would look like, to make the movie seem more interesting, or just to make it look better, really. Earlier I mentioned I learned how to edit, so between these two tasks I learned how to edit, which allowed me to use more than just a few simple cuts to make the project look better. We added special effects and just blurs to make the whole thing look better. I think I mentioned it in the last question that we changed one shot from day to night to make it fit the scene and like the feeling of our movie better. So we progressed a lot between the two because in the first one we couldn't use match on action correctly. We kept messing it up and it just looked terrible. But during the filming of our new project, we learned how to use match on action, which allowed us to make much better shots and make it look like the film continued in a flow, whereas with our other project it was very clear to where each cut was. With the planning, it also meant we had a more detailed script and a more detailed storyboard, which meant we could see what we were doing before we filmed it, so we knew exactly where to place the camera and what we were filming in which order. That made the film a lot easier to continue to maintain as the camera. It made the movie easier to film as we knew exactly when we were going to shoot what and what was going to happen in the next scene. That also made it easier for us to make continuity errors less and less between each shot. Our final project compared to our preliminary task was very different because we also made a logo using After Effects, which also helped make the project look much more professional. Also, we wanted it to look professional, so we went and we added different camera effects and messed with the white balance to get certain shots to look better. So it's clear there was progression between the two movies because of just the way one looks like a terrible student film, whereas the final one that we produced actually looks quite decent. We tried to use autofocus during the first project, but it just wouldn't focus on what we wanted. So during the final project, we used more of just focusing the camera by hand just to make it look better and actually focus on what we wanted it to focus on. Again, we learned about lighting, so we could improve the lighting and not just use the natural lighting that was around us. So during the first movie, or the first part of the project, we just used the lighting that was there and didn't even think about it. Whereas when we filmed our final project, we wanted it to look gloomy, so we turned off all the lights and just had the character lit by, say, a phone light we used for one shot and a lamp for another, just to make it seem like it was a smaller room and that there was less space around her. So yeah, I believe that we did learn a lot between the first task and the final task.